And in the meantime, we're almost live. We are live. We are live.
We're live. We are
Yay.
live.
Hello, everybody. Hello, world. This is a special day for me because I get to interview one of the most incredible children's artists on the planet Earth. And welcome to Stacy Innerst.
Oh, thanks. It's a pleasure to be here, Mal. Thank
Well,
you.
we just started. I mean, tell me in half an hour.
All right, I'll give you an update.
So before I forget, I'm Mel Rosenberg. I always forget. I am the host of the Children's Literature Channel of the New Books Network. And we are here celebrating Stacy's brand new book um, and show everybody and brag about it a little bit.
All right, happy to. Happy to have an opportunity to brag. This is piece by piece written by Erin Frankel, who actually lives near me. We've met a few times, and that doesn't always happen, but she lives in the Pittsburgh area where I live, and I was thrilled to illustrate this book because I'm a giant music fan, and I think Sondheim is one of the he's so articulate about the creative process. I mean, I just read some of his quotes, and he just immersed himself in what it means to be a creative person and to make things, not just music. But he was a Renaissance man in many ways, but I was just thrilled to be able to illustrate something that about a person that was so inspiring in so many ways.
So we'll just mention I'm going to also make a backup recording. Um, so uh, I should. I, we are being recorded, absolutely, and that's a good thing.
That is,
Uh, we're being recorded twice, actually. Um, I need that backup. So, a little bit about how this happened. I mean, I say you've illustrated, but illustrated word in your case. You are the artist of about 20 picture books, and I'm really glad that sometimes the book says "Art by Stacy Innerst." And I part of the reason that I do not usually interview artists and illustrators is because I know absolutely zilch about the process. So you can make fun of me, tease me, correct me as you like. Um, but I find your artwork incredible, and you remind me of luminaries like Myra Kullman, whom I adore, and
oh, yeah, yeah. Thank you, because that's what I aspire to be, is somebody that can communicate visually in such a visceral way, the way uh, some of my favorite illustrators do, and she's certainly one of them. Her storytelling abilities are amazing. So that's what I strive to do, is tell a story in pictures more than anything else.
it's incredible. So Erin Frankel's wonderful text. How did it land on your palette?
We were both represented by the same agent, Susan Cohen, at Writer's House. And I was with Susan for many years, and she's responsible for sending me many books. Um, she was magnificent. And she also represented Erin, but she retired. I think it was one of the last contracts that she put together was to put Erin and I together for this book. And I didn't hesitate, obviously. It was as soon as I got the manuscript, I thought this is meant to be. So um, I jumped into it with both feet.
I can you show some of the artwork because
Or,
not everybody, people are also listening in the podcast, which means you have to run out and buy this book. It is gorgeous. It's nothing less than gorgeous. It does Sondheim justice, which is a very high level of praise for me.
it was a lot of pressure too to do Sondheim justice. So I felt the pressure, but this is the jacket. and then I continued the the cityscape on the back cover. I really wanted to just evoke that sense of time in New York City and on Broadway, and do it in my own interpretive way. It's like I everything I do is fairly is mine, to put it lightly. Um, this is the opening. This one I actually, can you see this? This is
Hmm.
Sondheim at work, and this sort of sets the tone for the process. And I decided early on, because the puzzle was such a an important part of the story, that I was going to introduce these puzzle pieces as elements throughout the book. And so I cut them out of paper and just sort of pasted them on whatever paintings I was making. And I tried to make them characters as well. So the puzzle pieces are sort of interacting with each other and kind of dancing, and he's moving them around on his piano. Um, that's the opening. Um,
And some of them are in the light, some are in the shadow, some of them semi-shadow. And also, you're going to correct me, but these are the things that strike me as an author who cannot draw I cannot draw anything. Um, is that it's a three-dimensional rendition, and the puzzle pieces are like cut from it. So then it becomes a two-dimensional rendition.
exactly.
That's
Yeah, and I've always loved to collage things. I mean, I always feel if I'm going to start with a rectangle, a white rectangle, and I'm going to make a picture, I just feel restricted somehow. So I like to cut up pieces from other things, little sections of things that I like, and just sort of slap them together, and then I can move them around and create a composition that way. Um, so for me, it's really a process, and I think that's why I related to this story so well, because the process is almost the same. I'm not putting myself in Sondheim's league by any stretch, but
no, but I mean, what you are asking the questions that I wanted to ask you, which is how similar. Well, okay, so Sondheim ended up writing his own music and lyrics, but he started out, and there's a allusion to this in Erin's manuscript, by having the fortune, I call it fortune, to write the lyrics for West Side Story. He was later a little bit critical of his own writing, but I think it's young genius, nothing less than that.
question, no question. Yeah. Yeah, and that's an interesting point. It's he regarded himself as a person in a certain place and a certain time, and made himself available to whatever inspiration was in the zeitgeist, or whatever was there. He was seizing it, and that's why he was he had that long lifespan, but he also had this creative arc that it was really a reflection of the time that he was living in. And West Side Story is a perfect example of that. I saw that when I was a kid, and I have two older sisters, and they were both in love with West Side Story. I mean, it became, they had nothing to do with that New York sort of gang life or anything, um, but they were just enamored with that story. So
I just saw it again for the umpteenth time. But so the question is, how closely does the work between a lyricist and the musician reflect the work between the author of the story and the artist doing the visual rendition?
excellent question. Yeah, that is why I love doing picture books so much, is because it's a very true collaboration. And when you're working with a good author, it's just that process of reading a book. When you read a book, you're forming images in your mind anyway. You're creating the characters. When you read a work of fiction or even nonfiction, you're creating images in your mind. And I have the great luxury of being able to try to draw those pictures and not just form them in my mind. So,
I'm an author who has trouble imagining the pictures. Another thing is that people don't know that usually, unless you live 2 blocks from the artist, you don't have that much active collaboration. You have the text, you've built this framework, and then the artist takes it and does his or her or their thing with it.
right.
And probably Sondheim and Bernstein collaborated much more closely on West Side Story. Let's go back to Stacy. I'm in awe of your art, and you wrote that it happened because you wanted to distance yourself from your talkative twin brother. Or did I miss that?
No, no, that was a big part of it, honestly. Um, I am a twin, and my twin brother, we're fraternal. We don't even really resemble each other. We barely look like family, but we love each other very much, and we're very close. And we were very close when we were growing up. But he had the verbal skills, and I was quiet. I was always quiet, and I kind of accepted that role as, this is my spokesman. This is my mouthpiece. He does the talking for us.
So
Um,
it was like Queen Victoria. We are not amused.
correct. Everything was flourishing.
Stacy wants more peas on his potatoes.
Right. Honestly, that's not far from the truth. Um, so I developed this sort of quiet practice of drawing things and drawing things that I wanted, drawing things that I desired, drawing things the way I wanted them to be. Not that had an unhappy childhood, but you always have that longing. And so I just
Hold on. I need an example here, Stacy.
an example. Okay, well, I'll give you a pretty just a pretty quotidian example of if I wanted a bike, and there's a certain bicycle that I wanted. And that's part of being a twin too, is that we shared everything. Everything we got, like we would get one thing to share, we'd get one bike. Um, eventually we kind of differentiated ourselves, but if I wanted a certain thing and I wanted it to be mine, then I would customize and try to draw it, just try to draw what I saw. And that came really early. I mean, that form of expression came, I don't remember when I started drawing it. I was really, really small. And I used to draw everywhere. I drew in inappropriate places. I remember drawing, my parents kept it, but they had this beautiful world atlas, a giant book, color plates. And um, I wrote all over that thing when I was a kid and drew pictures. And um, then we moved when I was a child. We moved from Pennsylvania to New Mexico. And I was I was so angry that we were moving because I loved where we lived. It was paradise. And I had no idea what New Mexico meant. I thought we were moving to the moon. So I wrote all over everything. I wrote on the I drew on the moving sign in front of our house, the realtor sign. I wrote with a stick in the
The,
mud,
the,
I was
the,
always
the,
there.
Stacy, there's a story there, by the way.
Oh, no question, no question. In fact, I've written that down. I've actually written that down as a possible book. Just that, and it was just the idea that I don't want to move. I do not want to move. So we'll see. We'll see what transpires. I am writing
I,
some
I,
things. So,
I can see it now. Not for sale.
oh, I love it. I love it. Yeah. Yeah, that's an image right there. And it's
So
throwing rocks at the sign and angry child.
This house stinks.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't
Ex-
buy it.
uh,
Okay, so but New Mexico turned out to be an artist haven for you.
It did. It did. I went kicking and screaming. I was 12 years old. Um, I had no idea what to expect, and it became it became a real part of who I am now in many, many ways. And this was a long time ago, when New Mexico was pretty rough and ready. It was Route 66. It was a desert town. Albuquerque is where we moved. And I just thought, what is this? Um, but I just came to love it so much. The big sky, the just the feeling of infinite space there, coming from Pennsylvania where there are trees everywhere, and then going to a place where you literally felt like you were visible all the time because you couldn't hide. You were just out in this vastness. And I just learned to love that so much. So I lived there for 25 years.
Wow. And how did your parents were both literary, your father an author and a journalist, and your mom a librarian.
Mhm.
But you have kind of abandoned the pen for the brush.
I have to a certain extent. I still think in a really kind of literary way, which I think also kind of pushed me into doing books, picture books. But yeah, I've never felt as confident writing as I have drawing and painting. For me, that's never been a struggle, well, a little bit of a struggle. I mean, because I want it to be good, but I can communicate visually much more easily than I can in a written way.
Authors have, or the authors I know, have a lot of angst with their writing. Is it good? Is it good enough? Is it worthy? Um, but your artwork is so confident to me.
Hmm.
Like, did you always feel confident about your art?
Boy, that's a good question too. You're asking great questions, Mel. Um,
Be
I
careful because you might have to pay me afterwards, you know.
well, yeah, I don't have much, but I'll pay you with compliments. Um, but yeah, I've always been fairly confident, never supremely confident, but I like most artists when I started. I wanted to render things as they were. I wanted to come as close to form and light and doing things just as other people see them. And I thought that was my goal for a long time. And I attempted to do that and I did very realistic kind of paintings um, but then I don't know when it happened. I think children's books helped a lot, really helped free me in terms of expressing myself in a childlike way, in a way that's going to entertain whoever is looking at it. Even if they're 4 years old, 3 years old, they're going to be amused and they're going to understand what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And that I think that really freed me up, and that gave me a lot of confidence to be more gestural and free in the way I do things.
And I should add here that one of your most gorgeous books on George Gershwin, I interviewed Suzanne Slade, so your artwork has already been on the show,
That's great.
and I think now is a good time to show a couple of spreads from your new book on Sondheim, and maybe Erin won't mind if you read a few lines of text, I'm sure.
I'll see what I can do. I'm not going to do her words justice, but see what I got. One of them, well, the opening lines are kind of pivotal, and she says, writing songs for the theater was Stephen Sondheim's favorite puzzle to solve, choosing notes, choosing words, putting it all together piece by piece. Um, and then I love the way she organized this book because she actually gave me a lot of freedom to take some of his shows and do my interpretations of them. So the second page is the Seurat painting um, that inspired Sunday in the Park with George, and um, her words are, when the pieces fit together, the puzzle came alive. Music and lyrics flying off the page and onto the stage. What could be more exciting? And there again, there's the puzzle piece. So they show up everywhere.
Gorgeous. One more spread, and then we want to go back to 5-year-old Stacy.
Okay.
We
I'm
have we
just
have a plan here.
Here is a this is as a child, I'm not sure this is going to read terribly well because it's kind of I've just got his hands resting on his father's hands as they played the piano together. I wanted, and Aaron really made that connection with his parents and his father, who and his parents, divorced when he was young, and that was a traumatic experience for him, and I'm sure it formed him in a big way. So I wanted to establish that. I wanted to establish that relationship as Aaron did with his parents and his father. And it says, as a boy, Stevie wanted to know how things worked. He put his hands on his father's as they glided across the keys and watched the record player go round and round as show tunes filled their New York City apartment.
The one of the things in the book that shines is this great fortune in, in moving into the neighborhood of Oscar Hammerstein and befriending his son. I mean, otherwise, who knows? Sondheim might have become a piano tuner or maybe a second-rate musician and lyricist, because Hammerstein had the guts not to not to say, oh, this high school stuff, that everybody's bragging about is not really as wonderful as it could be.
Like, exactly. Yeah, he didn't patronize him. He didn't, he told him exactly what was good and what was bad.
And in many people's careers, like mine, it took me 60 years to realize that my writing wasn't good enough. And one of the things that high school Stephen understood was that he should and could listen to Oscar and write better.
Right. Exactly. I mean, if you have a mentor like that and you actually don't have, your ego isn't formed to the extent where you can actually listen to other people and respect their opinion, that's huge. It's huge in the creative process.
So I wonder where he had that ability, but he certainly did to grow from one stage to another. So the 5-year-old question, Stacy, I ask all of the people I interview, the creatives. You work on picture books, such a juvenile thing.
Hmm.
Are
I,
you a 5-year-old at heart?
no question. No question. In fact, yeah, it's funny because I've been doing this for so long that it's second nature to me and I don't really question it. But when I tell people out in the world what I do, it's like there's this disconnect. It's like, wait a minute, you're making picture books for children. And it's just kind of a strange thing where I don't feel the need to explain myself anymore. It's like, yeah, yeah, that's right. That's what I do.
So you had this decent occupation, illustrating magazines, and then what happened? Did you have an Oscar Hammerstein? How did you segue back into something that you love so much?
Oh, well, yeah, I work for newspapers and magazines, and I was doing editorial illustrations, grown-up subjects, opinion pieces, all kinds of, dark subject matter, which I still love, actually. I love to do that sort of thing. But I had kids. And I was reading to them every night. And I was looking, we'd get just piles of books from the library, and I was looking at these books, ranging from, the golden age of picture book illustration. I was reading them, and we were looking at books that I had read to me when I was a kid. And
Stacy, I need the specifics here.
oh, specifics?
Yeah, examples.
Okay, you've got it. I read The Wind in the Willows. We read Leonard Weisgard, and oh, just I mean, I just saw these pictures that I thought this is the best art being made. And it was also Lane Smith. I saw Lane Smith, who also made that transition from editorial to picture book art. And honestly, that was kind of a revelation for me because he did these sort of strange, almost, um, grotesque kind of pictures and told hilarious stories with them. And I thought, oh, that's what I want to do. I want to be able to make books just like these that I'm looking at with my.
Was there like a moment, like when you were reading to the kids and you said, "Oh my goodness, this is what I have to do"? Like,
It was a
how did
lot
this
of
happen?
moments. Yeah, it was many, many moments. It was every time we brought home books from the library, I was looking at these things. And emerging people like John Klassen, who, people that were doing really amazing things that were really pushing the envelope in terms of storytelling for kids. And and yeah, it was just this series of moments where I thought I I'm going to see what this world looks like. So I was actually living in Seattle at the time, and someone wrote to me and said, you should be illustrating for. I had things in the newspaper there, and they wrote to me and said, you should be illustrating for children's books. And I thought, yeah, I really should. So I took my editorial portfolio to um, a woman who in San Diego. My grandmother lived in San Diego, and we were visiting her, and I took my portfolio to Harcourt, which was headquartered in San Diego at the time. And I met with Jeanette Larson, who was a magnificent editor there, and still the person I kind of point to as the person who really got me into this world. And she gave me my first picture book. She said, these are very editorial, they're kind of adult themes and everything, but I see a picture book in there. And she gave me my first book contract for Emma's for Music with Kathleen Kroll.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you have that? Did you have that to wave around for a minute?
You know what? I might. Let's see. I do. I do. And this one, the
It's
hardcover is
it
out.
and and this is the first one that you illustrated, and
This,
it's
yeah.
so you, Stacy. Open it anywhere.
All right.
Open
Okay.
it at B
A
with the
B.
Beatles and the
B is
B
for
and
Beatles.
yeah.
But first, let me show you. This is the kind of book that she gave me. I've got in the beginning, it's Nietzsche, Charlie Parker, Helen Keller, and Frank Zappa. So you can see that it's an unusual picture book. But let's go to B. Oh, you know
Or
what?
go to G with Gilbert O'Sullivan on the side and the guitars and the
You know what's hilarious? I grabbed the first copy that I found, and this is like the one book that is the pages are are out of order.
yeah,
So
wow.
yeah, but anyway, I found B. Look, luckily I found B, and B is for Beatles. They're the
Mhm.
Beatles and bees, and so it's you can see this is my first transition from editorial illustration into children's books.
Yeah,
And it,
yeah, sorry, but Stacy, they say that you have to learn to do the art for picture books. It's different than regular.
it's a different
How different
language.
was yeah,
Yeah.
how different was it for you after having seen hundreds of picture books? What was there like things that you had to practice and learn, or did it come naturally?
It's really it's it's just understanding the vernacular, really, and understanding, um, like there are a lot of images in here that are pretty abstract, and most of the reviews were good for this book, which I was thrilled by. It was reviewed in the New York Times. Thought, yeah, this by Paul Zelinsky, who I admire tremendously, and um, so they got it. I think picture book makers got it, but they were also probably a little puzzled by it because it's unusual. I think as I've gone along, I've paid much more attention to faces that are open and not, so quite so expressing anything. I think early on, especially in editorial art, I found faces a means to express emotion and, really define the person. And as I've gone further in picture books, I don't pay quite as much attention to a specific intention for each character in terms of the facial expression. I like the reader to be able to put a little bit of themselves into it. So that I'm trying to make them more accessible in that way.
And your gorgeous book on Joni Mitchell.
Oh,
Wow. I should tell everybody that you've won numerous awards for your artwork. Oh my goodness. Um, Another splendid book.
thank you. Yeah, this is Joan Mitchell, the abstract expressionist. And I have been so fortunate.
What do you mean? She did write a few songs, Stacy.
Oh, this is a different Joni.
Is
This is
it?
yeah, this is Joan Mitchell, the painter.
I
And
missed that.
yeah, and I really, really, really wish I'm hoping to do a book about Joni Mitchell too, because I mean, honestly, as a musician,
There are a few. I was sure that was Joni Mitchell.
no,
And I
you're
said,
not
oh my,
alone. You're not alone. Many people thought, that it was Joni Mitchell, but so she's sort of been rediscovered. She was one of the early abstract expressionists, one of the first women. And honestly, just made magnificent paintings, which I was super intimidated to try to replicate for this book. But I had the best time making this book because I worked with the Joan Mitchell Foundation, and they had very, very specific ideas about what I could and could not do, which I appreciated, having those boundaries. And they
Stacy,
want
show a few spreads of the other Joni Mitchell.
well, let's see. Got to pick my favorite, obviously. Um,
My favorite is the one where you see her face in all these multicolor.
is that the one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So that was her being
How
in
disappointing for me that that's not Joni Mitchell, but I'll get over it with time.
we all will. We'll all get over it. No, I'm glad you mentioned it though, because I love doing this book, and I took kind of a different approach with this because she was a painter, and I rendered her in all black and white, just pen and ink drawings, and then the paintings were the real thing. They were the color, they were the color and the form and everything, and she was kind
You've illustrated books on challahs, and you have a worm book where you've geniusly
of
drawn these very empathetic worms. Uh,
I did. I tried. I tried. That was
is
that was a challenge.
what haven't you done? What is the manuscript that you would love to land on your desk tomorrow?
Well, I'm writing a couple of, it's fiction, and they're more poetic in a way. In fact, I'm working with my agent Hannah Mann, and trying to I pitched some ideas to her about things that I want to illustrate. And they're kind of there, as we talked about earlier, the words don't come first for me. Obviously, I've got the whole movie plotted out, visually in my mind. Now it's a matter of coming up with the words, the narrative. But um, I have so many heroes, and I would say, in answer to your question, if I'm going to do nonfiction, if I'm going to do biographies, I love doing biographies about creative people, musicians, artists, writers, anybody that is engaged in this, whatever this futile pursuit to make something beautiful and not futile, I shouldn't say that, but anybody that has the courage to go out there and just make something. Those are the books I want to do as much as I can.
So one second. So now you're competing with the authors by writing your own material?
Yeah, we're locked in fierce combat. No, mine are not going to be anything at all like any of the authors I've worked with. I've worked with great authors too. I've been really fortunate in that way, but these are fiction. And I mean, the things I'm coming up with are strictly kind of poetic, slightly more abstract, because that's just the way I think. And I'm not as disciplined or scholastic as a lot of the people I've worked with. I admire their ability to take an historical figure and create a story about it. That is a unique talent to make an engaging story. I love history, and I regard good historians as good storytellers anyway. So.
Yeah, and you mentioned that in your biography of loving history, and you have famous lawyers and judges, and Abraham Lincoln, a few books. Quite,
President.
quite, yeah, quite a repertoire. So we're going to close now because I want to interview you again in a year.
Okay.
Maybe maybe I'll get lucky and we'll. And so, what advice do you have for the up and coming illustrators and artists? Um, I, I know that most people call it illustration, but I like to call it art. Um, and what do you what is some advice for up and coming picture book artists?
Well, on that point, the differentiation between illustration and art, and I've taught some illustration courses, and um, I always tell them, don't draw those lines, so to speak, between illustration and art. Look at everything and make something, as Sondheim did, really. He took things from, all these sources, um, and made something his own out of it. And I always look at everything. You know, I look at proto-Renaissance painters because I think, oh, that I like that. That's the way I want my pictures to look. And then I look at folk art. I look at the Mexican folk art, which I grew up with in New Mexico, and I bring that in, and then I bring in German Expressionism, and then I bring in all of these amazing illustrators that I admire so much.
So
That's what I do.
it's the collage and puzzle all over again.
Exactly. It is.
Wow.
It is. It's a great metaphor for what we do. So,
This has been wonderful, and I'm just so lucky. I've been here with you, Stacy Innerst, talking about your new book, which is Piece by Piece by Erin Frankel, artwork by you, uh, came out in Caulkins Creek, which is Astra, and I've been so lucky to get to know you a tiny bit. And we're going to say goodbye to everybody else. Run out and buy this brand new book. It's incredible.
thank you.
Um, and we're going to go out and come back in and have a little tete-a-tete. And to everybody else,
Great.
I'm Mel Rosenberg, the host of the Children's Literature Channel, the New Books Network. I should have a sign like that, like your for sale sign. And I've been with the incredible Stacy Innerst. Bye, everybody else. Run and get hold of Stacy's books. And you
Thank
and I
you.
come back to the same lake.
That's
Bye-bye.